billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Hi everyone. Assalamu alaikum. This is Neelofer Ali. I hope you all are having great time. Today we have a very special guest, a very great personality, amazing personality is with us today. Today my guest is Sir Adrian Avendano, and he is a computer science engineer, and he is the founder of Global South Tech and Bridging Edges. So I'm very grateful to him because he is very busy, but he took time out of his busy schedule and joined this live show. So without delay, let's start our show. Uh, Hi, sir. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
Sir, thank you very much for joining us.
No problem, my pleasure.
Sir, first of all, our viewers would love to get to know about you a bit better. So, sir, I would like you to introduce yourself and to tell something about yourself.
Okay, so I grew up in North America, between Mexico City, and New York City in the United States. I'm also Irish citizen, so I've kind of a mixed background. But I mainly grew up in North America, right, as a kid, and also since I was a very young age, I was moving around places between, like, say, New York City and Miami.
Sir, I can't hear you. Sir,
Is it better now? Can
sir, due to some issues in a net connection, sir is disconnecting from us. So we are waiting.
Hello, sorry. It's just I haven't had any issues with
Okay, sir,
streaming.
no
I
problem.
don't know.
No problem.
So I was saying yes. So I grew up in North America, and then since I was young, I was always exposed to, like, people from all cultures and backgrounds, and I was always interested in, I love traveling since I was a kid. So so I've lived in many different countries. I've lived in 20 different countries around the world, and I've traveled like a lot of countries, 86 plus. And also I work in technology, specifically not in IT, more like I meet a lot of tech startups and tech investors and people who work, you know, with these types of companies, and also with the communities. Yeah, trying to support all the teams and companies to grow. So so yeah, that's basically in short, you know.
Sir, can you hear this voice?
Yes, I can hear that.
Sir, can you share with us your educational journey, your schooling and in college, university? We love to
Okay,
know
so
about.
yeah, so I studied computer science and engineering, right?
Sir, from
And
where you?
I would,
you are in which city, and what is name of your school if you want to share?
okay. Yeah, so I studied computer science and engineering. It was like a 5-year course.
Hmm.
And so it's like the university is called Tech of Monterrey. This was in Mexico, but also I was in London, Brunel University in London, and also in Denmark. I did some courses there as part of the whole degree. And so yeah, that's like I've been like my background as education is technology, right? Tech. Yep.
Sir, how was you in your studies in childhood? Means you are a good student or not?
Uh, so it was split. I think when I was young, from mm, 6 until 15, no, 14, I was kind of a good student. Like, I was getting good grades. And from 15 until, no, I'll say from 6 until 14, I was, I think, a pretty good student. And then I think after 14 until 17, I was a terrible student because I just didn't like school. I think I was bored and I was not interested. I wanted to do other things. And then the last year, I think one of the last year, I started getting interested again in school. And then university, um, I enjoyed only 50%. I would not. I finished it because I had to finish it, but otherwise I would have dropped out for sure because it was just I was also kind of bored, with the classes and the teachers. So yeah, I was pretty mixed student. I was not the poster child student at all. You know. Yeah.
Sir, you are a founder of South Asia South Asia South Global Tech and Bridging Edges.
Yeah.
Sir,
Yes.
love to learn from you that what is these two organizations and their aims and objectives. If you want to share with us.
Yes. So basically, in 2014, in New York City, I started. I've been working in tech and starting tech companies for a while, since 2008. But in 2014, I started this, what is called Global South Tech. It had a different name at the time, but the idea was to help companies and tech professionals from Latin America to connect and meet other tech professionals and companies in New York City. Right. So I started doing like, connections between those people in Latin America and New York first. So I started doing events in New York City, and
Yes.
the first events in New York went really, really great. Like a lot of people joined, and New York City there's like 100 events per day, right? So it's literally. So the fact that I got so many people interested, and not only that, I started getting sponsors as well to sponsor the event. So, and the same in San Francisco, right? Start doing huge events in New York and in San Francisco with the purpose to help the technology professionals and technology companies, specifically uh, startups, link up between the regions, between Latin America and also the United States. So that's how I started. But then I started growing to other regions, not just the Americas, but also in in Asia, South Asia and Southeast Asia. So I basically, throughout the years, organized 135 technology gatherings in most important cities for most important technology hubs across the planet. So yeah, that's how it happened until COVID. And then after COVID, we couldn't do anything. We had to do everything online, but it was not the same. So refocused my goal. Instead of doing face-to-face gatherings, I started doing interviews with like top tech people who are working in different regions and trying to identify, what problems are facing growing companies or growing the ecosystem, growing the support
Yes.
network in those regions, and basically trying to figure out who else can help solve those
Mm.
problems. So I'm acting like the platform connecting,
Yes,
uh,
sir.
sort of not just me, but the whole network community, right? I've been doing it since the last 8 years. And yeah, those are the things. And in Pakistan, I've been here 3 months, and I've been getting a lot of great traction here. I've been doing a lot of interviews, and the response has been pretty great here in Pakistan. So that's why I've been staying here so far.
Sir, you use the word tech ecosystem, right,
Yeah.
sir?
Yes.
Ecosystem. Sir, being a student of bio, we can understand the word ecosystem, term
Mm.
ecosystem, but what is tech ecosystem? If you kindly explain this once again.
Okay. So tech ecosystem means it's literally a community of people, right? Usually, and think of one city. So let's talk about Karachi. So what's the Karachi tech ecosystem like, right? So it's literally a community of people, a group of people in Karachi
Yes,
who
sir.
usually are connected with each other, or they know each other,
Yes, sir.
because um, with the purpose to help the whole industry grow, right? So these are different sort of actors, so in the like any community of human communities, you have people with different skills and different backgrounds and
Yes, sir.
different goals as well, right? So in the tech ecosystem, you will find people who work in the IT, specifically IT industry, right? Like building software. But you also have
Mhm.
investors. You would also have the tech startups, which are different from IT companies. It's like people in the world think IT companies and tech startups are the same. They're not at all. It's a completely different thing. IT companies, you connect with a client and then you build the software and then you're done. It's a totally different approach versus having a tech startup. A tech startup, you solve a problem with technology. So it's a totally different thing. So also the community has a lot of tech startups and also technology professionals, people who have worked in the tech industry for a while, and also young people who want to learn about the, the industry as a whole. you know I like to put together the technology and innovation ecosystem together, because you need good ideas, and you need a lot of creative people to come up with solutions using technology to solve specific problem, right? So the ecosystem is just literally a group of people who have different skills, different backgrounds, usually connected to each other, but with the similar goal to help grow the technology and innovation uh, industry.
Yes,
Obviously,
sir.
at the country level, but if they work together, that has impact connecting with other ecosystems. So it's just that's how I view it. So I try to connect with those groups in Pakistan, with at least the most important people here and in Islamabad and in Lahore. I've been doing that.
Sir, your voice is very slow.
Huh?
Sir, your voice is slow, very slow.
My voice feels low.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, slow.
Okay. All right. So I'll try to speak to the mic closer. Yes. Is that better?
Okay, okay, sir,
Yes.
fine.
Okay.
Sir, can you share with us the most interesting story from your career? And can you share with us what you learned from that story, what you take always you learn from that story, or a lesson you learn from that story, if you would
Mm,
like.
okay. Uh, so I think well, I think it's kind of a cool story. I can show you to prove that I'm not lying. But I'm gonna have to share my screen so you can see it yourself. So you need, just give me a few seconds. But
Yes,
basically,
sir.
what I did is, yeah, I met Bill Gates like next to him, and I met him at one of his events in New York City.
Yes, sir.
I met him there, and the good, the interesting thing is like I was not invited to his event, like I was not
Yes,
in
sir.
the invite list. I literally got in because of I was just being creative. I just got creative and I find a way to get into Bill
Yes, sir.
Gates event. So I want to show you the picture to see to show you that I'm not lying. Like I was just next to Bill Gates, and I was at his event as well, right? And I got to meet a lot of people from Bill Gates network, right? And these are very smart, powerful people, in the world, right? So, and like I said, I was not invited to this event. I just managed to get in without invitation, and there was like a lot of security uh, and stuff at this event, but I managed to get in. Let me see if I can find the photo because I cannot. Instagram is just not loading. I have it on Instagram, the photo, but see if I can show you the actual uh, photo with me and Bill Gates. So I
Yes,
guess that one is because it just happened. I was planning on going to the Bill Gates event, but I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to meet him.
yes,
Because obviously there's a lot of security. It's just like presidents, like the president of France was there. So a lot of super high level people go to his event, right? So they wouldn't just let anyone in. But I managed to get in because I sort of mentioned a name that was part of the list. So yeah, it's just the internet is not working properly. I cannot show you the photo, but trust me, I did that.
sir. When you showed me, sir, after this,
Huh?
sir, you are saying that you are showing some. Sir, I didn't get in your point.
Showing what?
So you said okay, you showing me some pictures. What, sir? I didn't get your point.
Oh, I cannot show you the picture now because it's on my Instagram right there,
Okay.
and
Yes. Oh,
it's
yes.
loading. It's still
Oh,
loading
yes.
the whole page.
Okay. Sir, you said as a proof I will show.
Yeah. So basically,
Okay, sir.
if you look
Sir. Okay.
if you look on my
Now,
Instagram, there's a photo with me and Bill Gates on my Instagram page. Actually,
sir, being a founder of Bridging Edges and what you have concluded and what you have discovered pain points of different industries.
well, like I focus in the tech industry, but those tech companies work in different verticals. So for example, I met the CEO of IKEA, right? So IKEA is a very specific. They have a very specific problem versus if you compare to SadaPay, right? SadaPay is a completely different. They're both tech startups, but
Yes, sir.
they have very different products and very different problems, right? So, but I can tell you for sure, one of the common problems here in
Yes, sir.
Pakistan for
Yes,
all
sir.
those companies, including IT companies, right, is number one is this is a problem over everywhere in emerging countries, which is access to really good technology talent and what we call product talent. So people who know how to build the right product, not just good coders, but also know how to create a product. So
Yes, sir.
that's a very different skill than just being a good developer. Being a good developer, you can find everywhere. Problem is being a developer who also understands how to create
Yes, sir.
the right product that works with users is a different skill, right? So that's it's not many people to find here in Pakistan, and they need to be trained. Those people. The other problem is there's a lot of great talent, but that great talent still needs to. Uh, there's some skills to be learned still, right? The other thing very common is, so yeah, like Pakistan, there's a marketing problem here in Pakistan, meaning that the world don't they don't we don't see, even before I came here, we don't see Pakistan as a technology destination, a place that you can come and do technology business or collaborate with tech people here. It's not advertised like this. India has a lot, huge, right? But Pakistan has not at all, right? So your neighbors, yes, India has been at it for years and years and years and years and years, and people know of India as a tech hub, tech destination, but Pakistan is not there yet, right? So that's a big problem because it makes it more
Exactly.
challenging for even Pakistanis themselves, the Pakistani diaspora, to come back in Pakistan and do business here or reinvest their money in Pakistan, or even like come here and start projects or companies. That's being a challenge for sure. And so those two are big, massive ones.
Yes, sir. So how much improvement you need to it needs to improve Pakistan's technology system, and how much time it requires?
How much time is required? I lost the first word. What do you say at the beginning? How much time is required for what?
How much improvement is required and how much time is required?
Oh, that's actually that's a good question. So uh, we don't know. That's a clear answer, right? Because Pakistan is a very complicated country, right? There's so many different people with different
Yes, sir.
backgrounds and beliefs.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
there's very smart women here who want to be freelancers, and they still believe if they cover their face, people are going to hire them, because foreign people don't care if you're Muslim or not. They want to see your face. They don't care about your beliefs. They just want to find somebody who's good. If you're a man or a woman, they don't care, right? They just want to find somebody with good skills and who knows how to communicate, right? So this is the thing, right? So I feel, yeah, a lot of people in Pakistan are very, very progressive looking and want to build a sustainable future for Pakistan, right? But
Yes, sir.
there's other groups here in Pakistan. I feel they're still looking at the past, or they're still trying to conserve some identity, you
Yes,
know,
sir. Yes, sir.
and that's fine. But the problem is, if you want to interact with the global world, there has to be a mind change. You're not dealing with Pakistanis, you're not dealing with Arabs or nothing. You're dealing with people from all over the world who just are very focused on their tasks, right? So I think the people of Pakistan need to change their mind in terms of if they want to work with the rest of the world, you know? So the question is, how fast will that happen? I think it depends, right?
Yes,
I
sir.
feel if young people understand this, if young people get the message that they're just as smart as anybody else, they have just as much potential as
Yes,
everybody else. If you understand that, but they just need to you know, adapt to the current world. So, for example, there's this very young girl from Rehan's school.
yes, sir.
Her name is Manahil. She's very smart. She's 15 years of age.
Yes, sir.
Great potential. Great potential. I was
Yes.
just so impressed that she's 15 and she's like making an interview and her questions were really good and everything. I was so impressed. And she wants to be like a great freelancer. Yes. And I
Yes.
told her, yeah, you have great potential. But I just told her, the only problem that I see is if you want to work with foreigners, remote remote freelancing work, communication is super important, right?
Yes, sir.
And they need to see you speak at least. They need to see your face, and if they cannot see your face, it's going to be a problem for sure.
Okay,
Yeah,
sir.
covering your hair, fine, but your face, they need to see your mouth to communicate, especially remote. because they need to see expression. It's just fundamental for trust.
Yes, sir.
So, and then uh, she kind of, so I told her this, not because I want to change her beliefs, but I'm just giving her just the
Advice.
advice. Exactly.
Yes, sir.
If she wants to work with in remote jobs with foreigners, that's what she needs to change. She needs to remove her face mask. That's it.
Exactly. Right, sir. Sir, I am a biochemist. So, sir, being a biochemist, if I work under you as an employer, so which kind of job for me? And sir, I want to ask you that what is the role of technology in the field of medical or biology? How it is beneficial for biology and medical science?
Oh, so there's an area called biotech, right? So biotech is there's many tech startups trying to solve chemistry and biology problems, right? So how can
Yes,
it
sir.
help? Well, it's just the technology. So if you think about machine learning and artificial intelligence, you can feed a lot of data to these algorithms about, genes, about proteins, about amino acids, about chemical reactions. So the computers, the algorithms can help figure out a model. If you put all these compounds together, what will happen? Or if you have all these genes, what is kind of the pattern of these genes to produce a certain protein, and then that protein creates like specific chemical reaction in our bodies, right? So technology is everything for biology and chemistry because um, we can gather a lot of data from humans, from organisms, from bacteria, from the environment, and process that data and get results, feedback, and insights, especially with the algorithms and AI. They're becoming a lot better. So it's fundamental for discovery and even to make breakthroughs in biology and chemistry. I think it's fundamental. And also materials, right? Biotech, the materials. So what's the best material to at the lower cost to manufacture something, right? That's a lot of engineering required, but it requires a lot of data to figure out what combinations, what chemistry needs to be in place to create some material, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
yeah, tech is it's not even optional. It's like fundamental for biology and chemistry, the technology.
So great, sir. Sir, how many countries have you traveled yet to so far? And sir, which country you enjoyed the most?
I can't pick one, but it's been 86. Yeah. So I can't pick one country because they're all different. I have learned different things from each country. But if I pick one, um, so I love Asia. I love Asia, the continent, you know? Yes,
Okay, sir.
because it's very different from our culture, the West, Americas. There's similarities, of course, but there's very, very huge differences, right? Like how people uh,
Sir, Asian
behave.
countries.
Hmm?
Sir, do you like the culture of Asian countries?
Yes.
Sir, anything you can share with us in cultural thing you see and you like it? Anything in fashion and anything? What do you like in culture?
Okay, so to make things simpler, so Asian countries, and I would start with, even Turkey to like Vietnam, think from Turkey to Vietnam, that's where Asia, starts.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
Turkey is a little bit different, right? Because Turkey is like between East and West, but Asian culture in general, you hear is about collective, you always think about the group, you always think about the families. Family is like the center of like a lot of things here, right? especially in Asian countries. The family is like very, very, very important, you know? So decisions and everything is kind of around the family. And so there's obviously benefits to that for sure. You know, people in general feel less depressed because they have more of a support system. You know, you can talk to your auntie or, you know, or your cousin, no problem, because you're so connected. You know, you live together, everybody lives together in the house, right? So there's benefits to some psychological supports, yes, but
Yes, sir.
there's a lot of problems as well, which is people cannot make their own decisions like we do because we're much more independent. You know, you just
Right.
you want it for yourself. Your mother doesn't agree, your dad doesn't agree. Too bad. This is what I'm doing. See you later. You know, so it's just a very different approach. Even tell you, it depends, right? I wouldn't say all Asian countries, but in general, all Asian countries, you know, saying my mom is crazy, she doesn't know what she's talking about at all. Saying that even to your friends is like taboo, right? We say that all the time, you know.
Yes, sir.
We tell our friends, my mother's crazy. She has no idea what she's doing. It's normal conversation for us. But here is like taboo. Talk about your parents because they're old and stuff, you know. So this is like a totally different. Is like totally different.
Sir, there are many benefits and there are psychological support for connecting connection, but there are other uh, what I say disadvantages are something that is uh, bother us.
Yes.
So
Well, or even like imagine you want to become. You decide, okay, I want to. You stop. You don't want to be a biochemist anymore, and you decide to. You want to sell flowers online, you know, because you. And then you're going to tell your parents, I'm going to quit my biochemistry job and I'm going to start selling flowers, you know, or paintings. I'm going to start painting flowers and then sell them online, you know.
uh,
That might be a challenge to convince your parents because the decision of your parents matters a lot, right? So this is my concern about Asian culture, that even though you might succeed, you have a good chance to succeeding as a painter in painting flowers. The fact that your parents are like, no, you should
yes,
not
sir.
do that, then you will give it up. That's a huge problem for Asian culture, I think.
Yes, sir. Sir, any impression I am talking about negative impression about you have about Pakistan. You heard about Pakistan. But sir, after coming here, you realize that it is not so. Is there
Um,
anything?
Negative impression before you talking?
Any negative impression you had about Pakistan before coming here?
Oh.
After coming here, you realize that no, it's not so. Sir, can you share with us?
Well, okay. So I, I know a lot of traveler friends as well, right? So obviously there's the media and you hear like this negative stuff about Pakistan, you know, terrorism and like the floods and everything else. But I had traveler friends who have been here and they told me about Pakistan from their experience being here. So I knew that people were very nice here in general. I knew that they don't see many foreigners, and if they get to meet you, it's like they get really excited. I knew that before coming here, but obviously I wasn't sure if it's true or not, or to what level and everything else, right? So yeah, I didn't have like negative. It's just more like I was just wondering how easy or difficult was going to be traveling here and being here. You know, as in the small things. You know, moving to point A to point B. Is it going to be easy to do it on, you
Yes,
know, through an app, or you know, all the small things, how easy or hard is going to be? I didn't know. So it's just more the small things, how I wasn't sure how I was going to be here. Yep.
okay, sir. Sir, my next question is about Sir Rehan Allahwala. Sir, I heard in your interview by Manahil that your first friend was Sir's son Saad Allahwala.
Yep.
Sir, now I want to ask you that what do you say about both dad and son, about their personality and being a good friend of them? What do you say about them?
About both.
About Sir Rehan Allahwala and Saad Allahwala. Sir, can you hear me? Sir, can you hear me?
Hi, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Sir, hello, sir.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello, hello.
Yeah.
You can hear me? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what do I think about both of them? Yes?
Yes, sir. Yeah, yeah, yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, so I met Saad first, and he's a young guy. He's 21 years of age. You know, he's very young still. Uh, but obviously, he's got good energy in terms of he's doing the podcast and he's talking, bringing a good image about Pakistan and how Pakistan has good potential, and he's making videos around that. And I think that's great coming from a young Pakistani person that they're
Yes, sir.
optimistic about the future of Pakistan. So that's what
Yes, sir.
attract me the most about him, that he's young and has a positive outlook about Pakistan's future, right? For other and inspire other young people, right? Him being so young.
Yes,
So
sir.
that's what I liked about him. And Rehan, well, he's older, but he's doing incredible work, really, in terms of teaching underprivileged children and adults become digital savvy
Yes, sir.
and learning the
Yes,
tools and make money out of completely digital life. I think what
yes,
he's doing is incredible, but obviously has to create impact has to be at scale in Pakistan, right? So the fact that the school here, Rohanji school,
sir. Rehan
I mean,
Rohani.
there's 140 students. 140 students in Pakistan is like you need 500,000 students, you know, to learn those skills. You know, a million. There's so many young people here, so 150 people is still like a tiny number for Pakistan, right? So I think will be great to see it's at scale what he's doing, but 100x that will be a huge impact for the country. So yeah.
Yes, sir. Sir, my next question about what is the most important person in your life you believe is the reason for your happiness and success?
That's a tough one because I I don't have one person like that really. So, and the reason is because I don't like to idealize people, you know, and
Sir, your voice
so it's
is
yeah. So I'm saying like I don't have one person like that, you know.
sir, more than one. Sir, can you hear me? Sir, can you hear me? Maybe there is a issue in the net. I think, sir, we have any net issue. We're trying to connect again.
Hi, sorry, it's just
Sorry, sir, I think there's a net issue. Sir, can you hear me?
can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. But, sir, I can't see you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir, but I can't see you. Yes, sir. Okay,
Okay,
sir.
that's good.
Now I can see you and hear you. Okay.
All right. So, okay, to answer the question again, I don't have one person that I look up to, just like that, because I think I've learned from so many different people on different backgrounds. So, yeah, like I couldn't pick one person really, but I get inspired by so many people at the same time. So many. Like just one person I could pick is I love this guy Yuval Harari. He wrote this book called *Sapiens*, and he's an interesting guy because the way he speaks and the way he portrays and brings ideas together is very clear. His thinking is very, very clear. So I like how he thinks. Yuval Harari, he's from Israel, and he's a very famous guy because his books have become bestsellers. So he's one
Yes,
person, just one out of many who I've been inspired because uh, their work and their lifestyle and their views about society and humanity and stuff. So yeah,
okay, sir. Sir, how was your child? Any beautiful memory you would like to share with us in your childhood?
um,
Sir,
so
you are an innocent child or naughty child?
naughty childhood or what?
Sir, were you
Naughty.
innocent or how were you in childhood and how was your childhood?
So yeah, like I said, I was. My mother used to bring me with her in her travels. So I grew up as a child. I was growing up traveling. So I was traveling between Mexico City and New York City, and like also in Europe, all these places when I was a child, literally. So my child memories are very much like this, as going to school and then going to the airport, flying, going to a different city, being with my mother, and then being with a nanny because I had a nanny as well. So
Yes,
so
sir.
yeah, I was kind of changing environments constantly, right? From school to planes, airports, different city, back to school, and then again. So like this, you know.
Yes. Sir, what you say? You are saying nani to your mother's mother, right?
Uh, the nanny, mother's mother. What would I say to my nanny's mother? Mother? Say it again.
Sir, we also say nani to our mother's mother.
Nanny's mother, mother. Yes, that's right.
Yes. Sir, what are your hobbies? What do you do in your free time?
So yeah, like I said, I'm usually pretty busy, right? Uh, Especially here in Pakistan, it's like very, very busy. But when I have free time, I love to explore different places, say in a city. So in
Yes.
Karachi, I like to go and explore like a new food place or a new location, with some local person and explore. I also love to read. So I listen to books now. I don't read because I spend a lot of time in the front of a computer or my phone, so I listen to books now and listen to podcasts because allows me to walk and move while I'm still learning something, right? So I
Yes, sir.
instead of reading, I change to audiobooks and podcasts. So I listen to a lot of them on many different topics. So yeah, listening to books and podcasts and exploring new places. Also doing research when I'm sometimes research about some topic that I'm curious about. I'll just try and research and see
Yes, sir.
um, how is this related to something else. And so I do research as well. And I love meeting new people as well. People I never met before and I meet for the first time. I love doing that. And traveling, right? Travel is like related with exploring new places in different locations. Yep.
Sir, you traveled all around the world. Sir, what is a common thing you found in every human? Means there are psychological changes. Maybe there are due to culture there are psychological changes. But what is the common thing in all the human beings you found that is that this is common thing in all the human beings?
That's a good question, obviously,
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
but it's not an easy one to answer because um, in general, but I do have a good answer because I thought about this a lot, actually. And I would say, there's several issues to get to the point that you understand, yes, this is a common thing between all of us humans. And the problem is sometimes it's language, right? Because if we don't speak the same language, you can't communicate with those people, right? So you can't really understand their perspective or what they're thinking or why they're behaving the way they're behaving. So language is a barrier, right? But if you're curious enough and meet enough people who understand that local culture, who can communicate with you and explain you, well, first, if you ask them to explain you and they try to explain you why local people or why they're doing the thing that they're doing and give you an explanation from their point of view, you would understand at least why they're behaving the way they're behaving, you know? But you need to have a very, 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 very open mind in terms of understanding that people grew up in different environments, different backgrounds, different families, different friends, different culture, different climate, different everything, right? So that changed their perspective about things, right? But the good news, and this is where it goes, is that if at least you understand the perspective of
Yes, sir.
people who are very different from you and trying to speak a
Yes,
little bit from their perspective, you will find a way to connect with them, right?
yes, sir.
So I think it can happen with every human, right? If you
Yes, sir.
make a little effort, both people make a little effort of understanding each other, then we can find a common ground of connection and communication, right?
Yes,
But if one person is just coming from his or her point of view, it's going to be impossible to understand the other
yes, sir.
the other human, right? So then it's like thinking about an alien almost, right? This is me, and then
Yes,
the rest are aliens. And if they don't think like me, it's just there's no connection. But that's the challenge, right? I think this is kind of an invitation for everybody to not stop their curiosity, not repress their curiosity, to really let it grow.
yes, sir.
Because if people are curious, they're curious about learning about others, about culture. So I think if we stay curious, we will connect better as a whole, as human beings, and find those common things that link us, as opposed to finding the different things, because it's so easy to see how different somebody or something is. We can just find the smallest difference and wow, it's huge difference, and yeah, we're totally different. There's nothing in common between us. So it's very, very easy for our brains to find the differences, but it's harder to sometimes to find the similarities. But that requires some curiosity. But we're curious by nature. We just need to let it not
Yes,
kill
sir.
that curiosity. So that's it.
Okay, sir. Sir, you here came here in Pakistan. Sir, what is your favorite dish in Pakistan?
I guess I give by order. The best thing I had in Pakistan was chicken tawa and a very thin chapati. That was number one. Number two, chicken jalfrezi and nihari. Three, halva puri, chane chat, chane. Uh,
Yes, sir. Chop.
Five, yep, five. Yeah, local chai. I love it. Chai chai.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
Chicken tikka will be next. And yeah, those are my favorites so far. Food here.
Yes, sir. Don't you try biryani and pulao?
Oh yeah, biryani will be the other one. But the spicy biryani from Karachi is good. Yes.
Okay, sir. Sir, any wish that you have that still did not fulfill, yet not to be fulfilled?
Um, well, there's a lot of them, right? But I try not to. I try to just focus in the moment and being satisfied with my life right now and the present moment versus trying to wish that my life was different. So I really try to focus on the present moment and how the present moment is what it is, right? And not try to escape the present moment and trying to wish that the present moment was different. So that's why um, I try not to think or focus too much on wishes. I try to focus on living the present moment fully. And I think by doing that, uh, you achieve more actually because you're more focused, more present on your life right here, right now, and you get to experience more and share more and value more everything right here, right now, versus wishing that the right here, right now was different, right? So that's my approach to the wishes stuff, you know.
Sir, it was a pleasure to talk to you, and thank you for your valuable time, and you joined the show. Sir, I hope I will again, inshallah. Sir, in the last, I would like you to give a lesson to our viewers.
What kind of lesson?
Sir, anything, any message. Sorry, sir, any message. I'm sorry, sir. Lesson, not any message.
Okay. Yeah, so this is, I guess, what I've been saying here. And yeah, like I think Pakistanis and many people around the world, it's very easy to compare yourself now because we're so connected, right? Everybody's on their smartphones and using social networks. So it's super easy to compare yourself every moment, every minute to somebody else, right?
Yes,
And especially young people, they can very easily compare themselves to other kids around the world or whoever, right? So, and usually what happens, people like say from Pakistan, they start to believe they're not good enough, that they're not as good as or as capable as or as smart as whoever else outside, right? So that's a problem, not just here but in many countries. You know, they feel they are inferior or they're not, at least not as good as, right, or as capable as people from somewhere else, right? But that's actual bullshit. It's not true. It's like it's ridiculous because brains, you know, potential is equally distributed around the world for sure. So there's geniuses in Pakistan, many girls, genius girls and boys, right? For sure.
yes,
But obviously they don't have access to opportunity. So my message would be, yeah, don't give up on something you're really passionate about, something that you believe, or something that you think it's right, or something that you believe needs to be shared with the world or your community or your family. You
Yes,
know,
sir.
my message will be, we need everybody to contribute
Great, sir.
to the pool of humanity, right? So everybody needs to participate, and I think now it's easier to participate more now than ever. So my message is, yes, we need we need you all young people to participate in humanity and contribute with your creativity, with your wish, with your il- dreams, with your intelligence, everything, right? So that will be my message. Don't give up.
Great, great, sir.
All right.
This is very inspiring, sir. Thank you very much once again for giving us your precious time. Thank you very much for your cooperation. Thank you, sir. May God bless you. May you succeed in every step of life. Muchas gracias.
Nice.
So, hey, this is Sir Adrian Avendano. You can connect with him by following him on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook, Twitter. I shared the link on the description. So, inshallah, in our next program, we will come again with another great personality. Till then, Allah Hafiz.
Okay, Allah Hafiz. Thank you. Bye.